Insurgency Sandstorm is a first-person milsim-style shooter focused on small-scale encounters in the modern day. Developed by New World Interactive, this is technically their third in the series and adds many new features as well as moving to a new engine, Unreal Engine 4. For those unaware, Insurgency was one of the many games that started as a Half-Life 2 mod of the same name. It was quite popular and admired and spawned a sequel, which was also received well. If we compare the latest title to the previous two, the changes in the game have for the most part been additive, making this one of the most well-developed of the three. However, the second in particular had way more features and game modes that I miss. So, is Insurgency Sandstorm worth $30? Let's set the standard for a $30 game. PUBG is $30 and I would say offers a great deal for that price point. However, PUBG conforms to a very specific genre and does not provide anything for those who aren't interested in a battle royale title. Insurgency Sandstorm is the same, however it pretends to offer more. This is where it gets a little tricky. Do not buy this game for the AI missions. They're nice to have and can be a fun distraction from the main game, but are very far from hitting the mark on anything engaging. Hell, don't even play 2 of the 3 multiplayer game modes. They, in my opinion, don't represent what this game has to offer. However, I would still say for the price of $30, you are getting not a content package, but a fantastic search and destroy style mode that, just like in the last game, is the most engaging and cooperative FPS combat on the market. Sure, Arma 3 has moments like it, but this is a tight, well-oiled machine with smaller maps and wonderfully tactical combat. There's a lot of depth found here in this one mode to give this game a chance at actually being a competitive shooter.
Yeah, you okay, dog?
What's up, dog? You having a great day?
This game's combat is fantastic, specifically its gunplay. It's just on the line between realism and arcade that make it work so well. Breaking it down, most people are a bullet or 2 from death, from any gun. Headshots is an insta-kill. Most guns are fully automatic. Now, this probably sounds awful, right? People probably just camp and fire off a few rounds, ending someone else's fun before they can even react. Well, no. Body armor plays a huge role, and recoil. A game finally got recoil, in my opinion, perfect. Firing an M4 is possible without too much effort, but good luck ever shooting someone with an LMG while standing. As they should, guns like the M249 have insane recoil, the first few shots bouncing your camera to the sky instantly. Using cover, crouching, bipods, and foregrips all help in reducing this effect. And the result is a very clean system that really makes you feel the weight of whatever you're using. Example, the default assault rifle for the insurgents is the AKM. It's full auto, it shoots a very powerful round, and can penetrate a lot of different materials. However, the recoil on this gun is the highest of all the ARs, so spraying is difficult. While, on the other team, the security has an M16, relatively low recoil, but has only a 3-round burst or semi-auto fire. So while it's more reliable in terms of grouping your shots, it has no chance up close. The teams have a few other situations like this, where one has a different playstyle you sometimes need to take into account while choosing your loadout. Speaking of which, the loadout. This system is super cool, not new by any means, but a fantastic way of balancing gear. You only have a certain number of points when you spawn, and gear, including guns, varies in price based on its usefulness. That's not to say that some things aren't better than others. What you can do with an M4, another can do with a G36C, but the price plays a factor into deciding what's worth your points and what isn't. Maybe you really want a grip on your AK as you expect to be going full auto at some point. Well, you'll have to trim back somewhere else. Do you need that sidearm? Extra mags? Armor? Can you go without a grenade this round? These choices all form into how you end up playing the round, and also ensure that no one feels overgeared. You won't see someone fully kitted. If they have a souped up primary weapon, you can bet they likely don't have a secondary in case things go south. All this gear plays an interesting factor on weight. At first glance, it likely doesn't seem all that useful to lose a couple extra mags or even body armor to be able to run faster. But that's 15 to 30% faster movement speed for when you need to clear that corner just a bit quicker, or you want to cross a sniper-covered zone when you're out of smoke grenades. Because of the design decision to have all objectives be indoor, flash, smoke, and incendiary grenades all play a very important role in securing different paths. Clearing a room with a flash and then using a Molotov to block off the main entrance allows for some really tactical and positional play that can be much more effective than your accuracy. Let's talk about what I missed from the last game, the maps. Some of the maps this time around are fantastic, but others, really not so much. The map Refinery has a few issues new to the franchise, a lack of useful cover, and a near requirement to venture through sniper hotspots. It feels like this map was made for a different game, utilizing range and long corridor style areas that other maps just outright avoid doing. This is the only map in this game that me and my friends frequently skip, or just outright leave. It's not a good map. I don't know what happened here. It's not up to the standard that the other maps hold, and the other maps hold such a high standard. A common map style you'll find in this game was one from the previous, that being a map with a single road down the center for direct entry to important objectives and veering paths off to either side. In the last game this was used only a couple times, yet here it feels like it is part of at least half of the map configurations. It's a sturdy design, don't get me wrong, but it creates similar outcomes every game with a few running mid and all others taking the branching paths. It makes larger maps feel smaller for the worse. Some maps are quite grand in height and scale, yet you're kind of forced to venture down shorter paths to small objectives. You don't see the grandiose scale that they've really put in and crafted some excellent maps here that are kind of hidden by this design. This isn't to say that all maps are bad. I have two favorites that utilize admittedly old tricks from the last game, that being Crossing, which has a 3-branch design that circle around in the middle to a no man's land. The other is Precinct, which features an objective in the center with multiple windows surrounding it, meaning a team has to clear different parts of the complex around that objective before attempting to capture it. One of my favorite things to do in this map, one of my favorite things in this game, is the level of coordination you have with allies, and this map really shows that off. If your team plays well, you have complete control over this one little area. There's something positive to be said about just about every map. I just hope that future editions add some much needed location variety. The last game had night maps, snow maps, alpine treks, and indoor-only zones. And this one has abandoned sun-bleached towns of different sizes. That is all. So, what does Insurgency Sandstorm need? New and varied maps with unique designs. The last game had night maps. How about we add a snowstorm map with low visibility? Maybe a, sandstorm map. I'm just spitballing here. The old AI modes, specifically the survival style one, with enemy waves and a lack of ammo, is a game mode from the previous Insurgency. That made the admittedly sometimes clunky AI actually a challenge. And I think this time around with the new vehicles and the new scale introduced to most maps, you can really create something quite fantastic. And finally, one addition that I think would be huge to this game would be a map editor, so I can learn the maps, as map knowledge in this game is more important than just about anything, and you're given so few chances to search around before being one-tapped. Easiest fix for this in my opinion would be adding more options into the local play, which from what I can tell right now serves very little purpose, and allow us to be able to walk around any map in any game mode. All in all, this game scratches a niche for me that I have very frequently, one that for most is scratched by Rainbow Six Siege or Counter-Strike, but those don't do it for me. I'd like to think many fall in this camp as none of my friends enjoy Siege or CSGO, but love this game. I've been playing a few rounds every day, that role of a play it a couple times a day game usually falling to Overwatch. And again, like most games, it has its own problems, but the solutions are more straightforward than usual. More content has already been promised for free by the devs. They did it in the last game, and you can feel confident that they will do it here too. If you're looking for a competent, well-oiled shooter with an excellent search and destroy mode and incredibly tense moments, I honestly think there isn't a better game than this one. Oh, bacon on your right. Oh my god. How did they not shoot you there? What the fuck? You're not moving. You're just standing there.
Oh, there's one where we were too, Bacon. Up on the balcony.
Bacon, you gotta move. They're gonna take it. They're not in there. They're upstairs. You have to rush it, Bacon. Oh my god.